Massive changes starting in 2025. How is the car market going to change? What's new? And what do we think is coming in? It's going to truly be the year of SUVs like it has been the last couple years now. I'm going to start off with electric SUVs, talk about what's new, how well they are, and what I think we need to do for the future of the SUVs. Then we're going to get into some new concepts that I think are coming out, and we'll go from there. Are electric SUVs the future? I think so. Take a look at these two Equinox EVs, and we do have some Blazers. That's another orange Equinox EV. I really think mass market EVs are the future. Our Equinox EV front wheel drive can do up to 512 kilometers of range on a full charge. I think that's incredible. The average person is doing 40 kilometers a day max. And then once a month, once every 2 months, they're doing a 200 or 300 kilometer trip. They would be completely fine. The only issue is this RS comes in about really almost $10,000 less than what most of our Equinox EVs are coming in at. And then if you even want to think about a Blazer EV versus a Blazer gas, take a look at this. This is a Blazer ICE or gas coming in the mid 50s, and most of our Blazer EVs are touching 65, 70. It just seems hard. And then you get into the Hummer EVs, which in Canada, they can go all the way up to $200,000. And the Silverado EVs are just, my opinion, the work truck is kind of pointless. I haven't seen many things about it. I think that RST is an awesome buy. Under 120, above 120, it gets a little pricey. And then with the Sierra Denali EV, that thing's 150,000 Canadian. It's getting outrageous. And talking about design, I actually would prefer if we stopped having the vehicles being different designed when it's electric versus gas. I think if we had, a gas and electric version of this Equinox right here, it would be amazing. I don't want it maybe because I'm not the EV buyer, I don't want my Equinox EV to look this different from the actual Equinox. I think you should make them almost identical. You can have a couple different features, like for the Equinox EV, don't have any vents, have it just all blacked out there. I think that would give you enough changes between the two versus these aren't comparable cars. Here's the Equinox ICE, this is an RS, and this is the EV. They look like two different vehicles. That part doesn't make sense to me, and I think they should make them almost as similar as possible. I get EV buyers want to be different, but you're losing out on non-EV buyers because they go, oh, I don't want that Equinox, I want the gas one. And it just makes it way too different. So I think that is the next thing we really have to do, is make them the same vehicle. We don't need to tell people they're too different. We want the product to be that well that people want the EV version because it's EV, not because it has different styling and it's more unique. I think that's devaluing why people buy EV vehicles. Touching on autonomous driving, I think the adaptive cruise that we offer, even in as cheap as our Invistas or Trax, which is over there, if you can see it right there, is incredible. The Super Cruise is amazing, but I think a couple more years, and once the Super Cruise gets, how it always works, the top end first, then it trickles down into all of the vehicles. It originally came out really in the Escalades, the full-size pickup trucks, and now you can get it in things like the Traverse and the Enclave. But I just think, I love the adaptive cruise in my Trax, so it's something that I haven't seen the value of spending the $6,000 as an option, then plus jumping into something so much more expensive to get it. It seems I don't know, I got to play around with it a little bit more, and I'll get back to you guys on that. But I think it is something that will maybe worth the money in the future, but right now for me and what I do on a daily basis, it's not worth it. Quickly to touch on design again, I want to comment on how many brands are bringing back retro styles, especially with Chevrolet and GM, with the way our pickup trucks now have these really defined wells. Now our Equinoxes have the same thing. It's a little hard on a blacked out Equinox here, but you can see this black trim along here. That's straight from the older Silverado, or the older Silverados, when they had that design when they originally came out. I actually am really liking the retro design. Even in the Traverse here, you get that big front end straight from like the Yukons and the Tahoes and the Suburbans. Gives it a really good look. And what the future of SUVs are going to be is these right here. These $35,000 SUVs, I think, is the new market. Not everybody wants to spend, $110,000 on a, that's a Sierra 2500, but even on a new Tahoe Suburban, when they're well over $100,000, more people want these small SUVs like an Encore or an Equinox. So I think you're going to see a lot more crazy designs like how we got the active version of the Equinox, giving you that off-road look, and the terrain looks so good now. That's what's going to be the new market. I think this terrain is going to be tough to keep on the lot for the next year. They're going to sell so well. But let me know what you guys would think. I think the future of SUVs are going to be small, sporty, active models that give you a really good, aggressive off-road look. And it has something for everybody from the sporty to the off-road.